What's up, you guys? Welcome back to your favorite Sunday podcast, Brunch with DESB. I'm your host, Des, also known as Des B. And the B for this week stands for bloody because I started my period. Literally, why did I call this? I feel like even the past 2 to 3 weeks since I've introduced the fact that I'm weaning, I brought up to you guys, like, I hope I don't start my period before my vacation or on my vacation. And really, it's actually a mindfuck to me because I never get my period back this early. I usually stop breastfeeding and then I don't get it back for like maybe another month, maybe even like 2 months. I've had a really wonky experience. So it's interesting to me that not only did I start my period, but I also got it before I was even done nursing technically. Like I'm still pumping about like 1.5, kind of like 2 times a day. I'm slowly decreasing time. And it feels really good, but regardless, I was just shocked. However, I am definitely carrying a little bit more body fat than, my previous self. Okay. So I am officially 8 months postpartum. Let's start this podcast doing my favorite thing, talking about myself. Okay. This is my time to give you guys a little bit of an update on me. All right. So I am 8 months postpartum now, which is crazy. 4 months until Evie's first birthday, which not only reminds me like, wow, July will be here before we know it, but also, wow, time flies when you're struggling, like it's so funny. They say when you're having fun, but I would argue when you're borderline, depressed, seasonal depression, your postpartum self struggling, postpartum anxiety, all the things, like it passes even faster. So I've been feeling pretty good. I mean, again, my body is so different than it was. Like, although I can feel myself coming back into my normal shape and the one that makes me feel confident, I also am nowhere near where I was 8 months postpartum with Archie or Maddox. Like, and that's just like fucking fact. Like, I'm not even like poo-pooing on myself like that I look, quote, bad. It's just the reality of it is like, I don't look the same. Okay. Like I did not, I hate to use this word, snap back, quote, the way that I did before. Like this was a very different experience, which is also very interesting to me because I feel like I trained and went about this pregnancy also like the best possible way ever. Like I had so much more education and knowledge and facts and, experience, all of the things. So to not feel that like rebound, I was so disappointed with myself at first, wondering, okay, like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? Like what, whatever. And in reality, it's just a slower process this time around. And I think for anyone, once you get to that third baby, I mean, I just hear it all the time. Like, oh, it's that third baby. It's the third one. But it really is. It genuinely is like one of those things that just, it's harder. It's harder. And I also carried a girl. Like, does that make the difference? I don't know. So 8 months postpartum, feeling good. Officially, like I said, weaning, which is crazy too, because I technically nursed Archie until about 10 and a half months. And now with Evie, I'm at just about 8 and I'll probably be done in the next 2 weeks. So, call it 8.5. Now she will continue to get breast milk until it runs out, from my freezer stash and stuff. So technically she is still breastfed, but like I'm done. I'm clocking out. Okay. Mama's done for forever, which is also a crazy thought too. I'll never nurse another baby. And when I tell you I don't care, that's what I'm going to tell you that straight up. A lot of people have asked me about like my boobs and whatnot. I'm probably going to have to give myself another good solid year. So I'm thinking like by next summer, I will kind of come to a fork in the road of, okay, am I gonna, number one, I'm good with where I'm at. They kind of came back. I feel okay, whatever. Number two, am I going to reconstruct? Or number three, am I going to explant? Now, I explored explantation before, not because, I feel sick or, they're bags of poison. They might be, but mine aren't. Like, sorry, like I feel great. All right. Not everyone has breast implant illness. Now, some people might, some people definitely do. That's fine. That's not why I would explant. For me, it's personally like thinking of my life in the future. As much as my doctor told me I would never have to get, quote, new implants, like I could have these the rest of my life, I don't know if I would feel comfortable with that. Therefore, when I look down the line, do I want to have to get more and more surgeries? that's what I don't like. So that's why I would consider explant. Now, if they reconstructed with implants and again, told me, hey, unless something happens, you don't have to remove them, I would consider it. Cause I do like my boobs. Okay. But when I went to go get an explant consult before, the issue was if they were to take them out, I did not have, at this point in time, I did not have enough body fat and like breast tissue for them to do any sort of like lift, plump, nothing. Like they would quite literally just take them out. Now, I only got one consultation. I only went to the doctor who did my boobs. Right now, if I went to an actual person who maybe like excelled in explant, they maybe would have more options. That's why you always get more than like one, what's the word? One beep, one. Oh, why am I blanking? Opinion. It's why you get more than one opinion. So we will see, but though I'm going to give myself at least a year, nonetheless, a year and a half, to recover and from like, breastfeeding, pregnancy, all the things, and then really sit back and kind of start to think about deciding. Right now, they're not causing me any issue. It's just more of like when my boobs deflate this time around, like I'm going to be very honest, like I'm fucking scared. Okay. Because again, I do have like more fat mass. And like, are they going to be like super, super squishy? I don't know. Like, I'm just like, come on, girls, come on, little girls. Like, I just want to like look good, we'll see. But if I could go back, I can't say I regret my breast implants like at all, genuinely. But I think like looking forward and again, assuming, I have to have more surgeries, that part sucks. And that again, at the end of the day is the point of which I wish I was just born with some natural titties. Okay. Like, please, I wish. So we'll see. That was a little bit of update about me. And it's funny. Some days I'll wake up and I'll be like, damn, I'm looking hot today. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good, looking good. And then all of a sudden you see someone hotter than you and you're just like, never mind. My sister showed me, I think his name was like Christian Goff, Detroit Lions quarterback. If I'm quoting that right, I don't remember. She was like, oh my God, look at his wife. Like, she's so beautiful. She showed me this girl. I was breathtaking. I mean, she was like Kate Upton hot, but like more. Like she had this beautiful, like curvy body. She had huge tits. Like, and I'm saying this all out of like woman to woman, like girl, dream body, like, whatever. So anyways, it's in that moment you're like, okay, I hate myself, Isn't it crazy to think like our perception about ourselves, nonetheless like others, what we deem beautiful is really shaped by media. And when we were younger, even the only people you would really compare yourself to, because comparison is natural, are probably the people near you, right? The people that were in your grade, the people that were in your high school, the people in your middle school. Because at the time, we didn't necessarily have so much access to outside media other than like, the Disney Channel, MTV, like so celebrities, right? But even celebrities' beauty seemed so far-fetched that you never really compared yourself to it. It was just more of like maybe like, I wish I looked like that, but also completely understanding that like you wouldn't because you're not a celebrity, right? Now, all of us are scrolling these social media places like TikTok, Instagram, etc. We're coming across thousands and thousands of faces per week to compare ourselves to all the time. Isn't that just kind of crazy? So really, 10 years ago, I might have thought I was like, granted, I was younger too, but like I might have thought I was so beautiful 10 years ago. But like, I think I'm a different kind of beautiful now because we're only comparing ourselves with more and more people. Does that make sense? So anyways, note to self, like when you're in a funk, don't scroll. Okay. Just like, honestly, don't do it. It's a really bad thing to fall into. So outside of that, happy March. I hope you guys liked last week's episode with Annalie. It was so fun. We hopped on. We're hoping to do more in the future. I think right now the biggest thing is just like, she's got her family, I got mine. And so we're trying to finesse this like schedule / busy season of life, and like kind of come together, but # remote podcasting, like if she was here in Michigan or I was there in Denver, it would also be like way easier. Right. So I hope you guys liked it, but we are officially in March. We're definitely in there now where it's like the 8th, 9th by the time you're watching this. And, it's the last month of my 20s. guys. And I don't find myself holding on to this idea of my 20s in a way of like, oh, I don't want to be 30. Like, bring on my 30s. For me, it genuinely comes down to the fear of time, which is probably a subconscious fear of aging, but it's not because I'm afraid of aging. It's more of like I'm afraid of losing my current self, like my kids being kids, right? In 10 years, when I hit my next 10 year, I turn 40, I'm going to have a fucking almost 15-year-old, right? Like, that is scary to me. Okay. Like, it's not so much the age, it's the amount of time that's passed since my last big celebration, which was 20, right? Like, oh my God, I'm 20. That's scary because I met Wyatt when I was 19, turning 20, almost turning 20. And to know that even him and I have been on this journey of life together for 10 years, it feels like maybe 4 or 5 years. I would give it 4 or 5. Like, definitely feels like, we've gone through a lot and we've experienced, oh my God, so many days together, right? But like, when you sit back, you're like, oh my God, it was 10 fucking years. That is scary, right? So it's not like I'm scared of the age. I'm scared of the time and how it's already passed. So I'm really soaking in this last month. And as I've told you guys over and over and over again, I'm a broken record at this point. Like, I have been working so hard on actively staying present with where I'm at in life. And I keep seeing these quotes, and I mean, I'm really drilling them into my own brain about like, there's a version of you 10 years older, 20 years older, who's begging you to enjoy where you're at now. And I think that's where I really am trying to hone in on that. And it's something you genuinely have to wake up and choose. It's hard to just wake up and be like, I fucking love it here, because we live in a society that's sad and stressed all the time. You have to genuinely choose to be that happiness and find that happiness in yourself every day and live in that gratitude. And it's very, very important. So it's something I'm kind of like, thinking about and actively choosing to do. So I hope you guys can join me in this last month. We do have new merch live. My 95 hard merch is live. I already got a really nice stain here, but it is in kind of the shape of a heart. So that's beautiful. 95 hard is live. 95 sweatpants. We have the 95 baby hoodie. We have first things first time first. We got like some t-shirts, some hoodies. Like, listen, I'm not fucking Lululemon. Okay, bitch. But I did make some decent merch. Okay. We got some champion stuff. And just an opportunity to kind of rep if you want. I mean, at the end of the day, why do I make merch? I told you guys this before too. I make it so I can wear it. Okay. Do you want to wear it too? Feel fucking free. All right. I am not sitting here ranking in fucking dollar bills making merch. Okay. I'm going to break even. It's literally an opportunity for me to just create it, make no money off of it, but it makes me happy seeing you wear it too. Okay. So if you're in, you're in. If you're out, well, it literally doesn't hurt me because it's not affecting me. So with that being said, we have a few different things to touch on. It's specifically, like, we have a lot to talk about in terms of TV. Okay. But we did have the Oscars last week, and the stars were out. The Oscars fucking suck to me. Like, I don't know if it's all the movies that get nominated. I'm like, haven't seen that. Didn't watch that. Like, the check marks in the boxes that you have to tick off to be nominated, for an Oscar it's very theatrical. It's very, I don't know how to explain it. The Oscars they're just weird to me, honestly. So they had a lot of like performances that were kind of like half-assed. They had a weird James Bond tribute. But like Margaret Qualley was in there. My new favorite girl, like Sue was there. And then we had Wicked. We had Cynthia and Ariana singing Defying Gravity. It was amazing. Okay. Ariana and both of them to sing like that on demand is so crazy. Okay. Cynthia, I think, showed up Ariana a little bit because Cynthia has such a great Broadway experience, and she can really like hold notes, belt them out. Like, Ariana definitely looked like a little nervous, still sounded great, but like not as crisp as the movie. And they mentioned that the movie is like raw audio, or, they're like, we just recorded, we didn't go in a studio or anything. So the difference there, I was like a little bit like, okay, like it still hey, I can't do it, but then they got snubbed. They didn't even win any fucking awards, which, they have another movie coming out this November, Wicked for Good, right? So I'm hoping that this will then be their year. But it feels like the Oscars very much just like a favoritism type of thing, you know, kind of like the Golden Globes, et cetera. It's like, who the fuck is voting on this shit? Like, I don't believe any of you. I don't. I think it's all money rigged, which is sad. Demi Moore didn't even win either, which sucks because I think her performance in The Substance was so good. Now, I never saw Amelia Perez, Honora, Conclave. There was another one. I almost said Traitors. I'm like, that's a TV show. There was another one too, but I didn't see those, but I just put The Substance and specifically like Wicked as such a high pedestal. When I saw their names in any category, I was like, oh my God, one of them has to win. And Demi Moore, you know, she got her first Golden Globe for The Substance this past awards show. And I did a whole episode on that, which if you haven't listened to it, you should, because it was really inspiring. But regardless, she didn't get anything. And that just kind of broke my heart because I don't think she'll ever, honestly, no offense, she'll never play a role that big again. And it was just really the perfect fitting role for her. And I think she killed it. And so that kind of sucked. But regardless, I digress. We had a lot of weirdness at the Oscars. Specifically, we had so much like nudity. Like Julia Fox was literally there with her nipples, out. Megan Thee Stallion also had like this weird like corset thing. And then her literal tit was just out with her nipple covered. Like, I love seeing women embody their bodies, you know, like in that way, I'm a girl's girl. Like if you, whatever makes you feel like super hot, do it, you know, but when you're on the stage or going onto a stage of like this really big award night, right? This huge award night where like you could be winning or whatever, to see that type of like nudity on the red carpet is very weird to me. It reminds me of like if you were to go to a wedding, are you going to have your nipples out? Like just tassels? No, like time and place. And to me, this really big event isn't the place to be like raunchy. Like do that at like a Halloween party. Do that at an after party of the same place, right? Go to the Oscars, wear a beautiful outfit, and then switch into your after party and have your titties out. I don't care. It is just a weird place to put that out there. Like first eyes. So we had a lot of nudity there. And I was just like, and I, all the time I'm checking the comments because I think the comments are the best part. And a lot of people are like, why is everyone nude all the time? Like what's going on? I can't agree more. Like I cannot agree more. Like show your ass cheeks a little bit, show some cleavage. But like, why are we literally frontal nudity? Like we had such an issue with Kanye and Bianca, which granted, she was like literally fucking naked. But regardless, like then don't do it yourself, you know? I don't know. It did really bother me. So with that, we did also see, I don't know if Millie Bobby Brown was there that night. I believe maybe she was, but I know for sure Selena Gomez was, and Selena looked amazing. If you guys remember, I think it was 2 years ago now, I really shat on Selena Gomez. Like, and I still stand by the fact, like, Selena's kind of annoying. Sorry. Like, I don't know what it is about her. She is kind of annoying. I liked her in Wizards of Waverly Place as a kid. And then I grew up and I was like, you're kind of annoying. So anyways, people were shaming her body yet again. She looks her best. Like she looks great. She looks like she's glowing, like new fiance vibes. Like her inflammation in her face. Like she looks like she maybe lost some weight. And is that body shaming for me even saying that? I don't know. It seems like nowadays it is to even compliment what is going on. Well, you don't know what her health looks like. It's like, okay, do you want me to say you fucking look good or not? Like, I don't know what you want me to do. So people are now saying that she's like, so they immediately went after her looking great, right? Now they're like, oh, she got on Ozempic. Oh, and it's crazy because like body shaming wise, it'll just exist anywhere. Even at her, for lack of terms, her bigger self last year when everyone was like, she looks puffy, she's gained weight. Now here she is, maybe her best look yet, right? And now people are like, she doesn't look healthy still. She got on Ozempic, blah, blah. It's like you can't win, but that is also the nature of media and paparazzi and conversation. Like when you're at that tier of person, and I would even argue like tier of like TikTok or influencer, whatever, you know, we can stand up for like, don't talk about me, whatever. But like everything is out on display. We must talk. Like we talk because because that's all we see, you know, like, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with like the thoughts about that in media. So then we had Millie Bobby Brown come out this week and she made this long ass video, literally reading from like a teleprompter somewhere. Like, I was like, girl, this sounds like a fucking robot. She should have just picked up her phone and been so sincere about it. But I understand needing a script so you don't get canceled and all this bullshit, like whatever. So anyway, she called out like these multiple journalists who have wrote articles about her. And she basically is saying like, leave me alone, right? Stop bullying me. I've been on TV since I'm 10. I look different now. I'm aged. I'm expressing myself how I want, whatever. But like, Millie, you look bad. Okay. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, you're 20 or 21 years old. I promise you, babe, you will look back in 5 years, 6 years, 7, even 10 years, and you'll go, oh my God, who the fuck let me have bleach blonde hair and like look like I was from 2001? I promise she will. Like, now granted, that's the point of where she's at right now. Figure out your self-expression, trial with some fashion freedom, whatever. But like, if it's not our cup of tea as viewers, then like be prepared for us to fucking say it. Now, some of the journalists are saying like weird, bizarre, like very mean things, okay? I'm not here being mean. I think she's still a beautiful girl. This isn't her look. You look bad. You look bad. And I'm saying that not because I don't love you, but because I love you. And I want you to look good. Like, dude, a few months ago, I remember reposting her. She was on a red carpet with her husband. And I was like, oh my God, she's looking so good. She had this sleek brown hair all the way down past like her boobs. And she had this beautiful like corset style dress on. Oh my God, what award show was it? She looked phenomenal. And now we have like these brown ass roots and like bleachy orange yellow hair. You look like a clown. That's a TikTok sound. Don't take it out of context. Okay. But anyways, you guys will have to let me know what you think about the body shaming conversation when it comes to celebrities. Like, do they invite it upon themselves? Is there a line to draw? Like, because at some point, like if we are reviewing fashion outfits, right? Or like we're reviewing the red carpet, if I want to say my opinion that like you look bad, that doesn't make me a bully. It's like, it's just not my look for you. Like, it's not my taste. It's not my style. Doesn't mean she's not a great girl, because we know she's a true 11. If you know, you know. Last thing before we dive into, I mean, we have a few hot topics we need to talk about this week. Bachelor, the Paradise finale, the Love is Blind finale, and the fucking Ruby Franke shit. Like, that is what the bulk of today will be talked about. I have to talk about this documentary. And we also had another documentary come out today, Friday, about the Charles Manson murders on Netflix. Like, I'm so sad for that. So anyways, last thing I want to say is just to reconfirm with you guys. The saga between me and paper towels is continuing, okay? And nonetheless, I already talked to you guys about my love for toilet paper too. Now that I'm back on my period, it's 10 times worse, okay? I just want to reconfirm paper towels, I'm using 900. Like, it's gotten bad. You know, there was one day I was like, I'm going to watch my paper towel usage. And I had like a few towels, like real like hand towels, like from the kitchen. And I was like trying to use them like over and over and over, right? Like, oh, here's a spill. I'm going to use this towel. Oh, here's another spill. I'm going to use this towel. It came to the point where I was so pissed that this towel was now like kind of like wet. I fucking flung it across the kitchen. I was so pissed off. I fucking paper towel. And then I went and did my business, cleaning up whatever I need to do. I didn't touch that towel again. I was so pissed. I'm like, who the fuck is sustainable enough to use towels all the time? Like, they get soggy. They're gross. When you go to like wipe another thing, you flick the old juice or whatever you're picking up. Like, no, we're using paper towels and I'm killing a tree. I'm killing a tree. Like, I could be better. I could be more sustainable, and I choose not to be. That's like just the name of the game, honestly. I choose not to be. That's so honest of me. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. I talk about BetterHelp a lot, seeing as that it's benefited me in the past 2 years. Some people think, maybe, things have to get really bad until you can go to therapy. You're like, I'm not depressed. Why do I need therapy? But really, therapy is a tool to where you're using it before things were to get worse and to avoid being at your lowest low. I don't know about you, but why the fuck would you want to get to your lowest low before you climb out to the top again, right? BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on your camera. You don't have to wear pants. You don't even have to put on pajamas. You could be naked wherever you're at and do a therapy session with your therapist. So for me personally, I like to put my AirPods in. I'll walk around my desk room. I'll go for a walk outside when it's nice out, whatever it may be. And that's what works for me. It is customizable and it is more affordable than most in-person therapy. Give it a try. See why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. And girls, don't forget to get on BetterHelp.com/DESB and put in that discount code. If you forget that, you do not get that 10% off your first month. And that is the deal with being a listener of Brunch with Desb. So let's get right into the watches of the week and like launches and stuff. Launch wise, we don't have a ton other than my merch, and we have a Paragon launch. Okay. By this point in time, there's an upcoming launch for a brand. I can't say. But right now it's just Paragon. It's on March 14th. And it's their new Oasis collection, guys. Snailed this launch. Okay. I've told you guys the past few launches, Paragon's like gotten better. This launch specifically, we have the Form Luxe fabric coming back, which is a little bit more high performance, higher quality. And then we also have our Luna. The colors are so gorgeous. And besides, there's this color called Bliss. It's kind of like this more like pinkish, tiny bit see-through naturally. But I've really come to the point to realize like some people will give a see-through legging, see-through color, and not care because like at that point, it's up to you to decide, where am I going to wear these? Am I just going to wear them doing upper body? Am I going to try to RDL them? Well, then put a sweatshirt around you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't think see-through is the answer, but I can understand where at some point you're like, but this color is going to do so well and it looks so great. Let's just make sure we warn the girls not to bend over with this. You know, like, I don't know. I digress. So everything else though is fantastic. The bras, we have a brand new front clasp, front zip sports bra. I did a 30-minute run in it, guys. My titties were down. Like you would have thought I duct taped my boobs down. It was so good. So if you are a big chested girly, that is for you. We have our multi-bra coming back. We have brand new like jumpers. Very good, way better sizing than like previous jumpers. We have all of our like Reluna fabrics per normal. We have shorts, we have leggings. I really wish we would have seen like a crop top or like a muscle top come out of this launch, but I think we'll see them in an upcoming launch. So 10 out of 10, honestly. You can use my code DESB as always for 10% off. We do have new Hydro Jug coming too. I can't give you any more details on that, but as always, I'm just telling you now, 10% off, code DESB. Don't sleep. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep. This next week, good news, I'm actually going, I leave Saturday. I'm going to Miami for Alani Nutrition. We're doing a little photo shoot, two photo shoots, and I'm going to be vlogging it and stuff, so stay tuned. But good news is like I'm going. Okay, so what that tells me is that I know a lot of you guys have your panties in a bunch about this whole Celsius deal. Alani's still Alani. We're still Alaniing, you know, so no fret. No worries, okay? It usually takes about a 2-year merge for any businesses acquiring other businesses. Like they don't just take over on the next day. Like it genuinely is like a process of phasing it out because they have to make sure it's smooth. Everything is smooth. They're understanding things. Think of how many passwords a company has, right? They got to tell them all the passwords, get them into all the accounts, like whatever it might be. So we're not seeing any pushback yet. And the point is, I don't think that we will. Like I think we're genuinely, Celsius is Celsius. Oh, by the way, I'm going to tell you guys, my friend texted me after I announced the whole Alani thing. And I was like, oh, I thought that like Coke or Pepsi would buy them. Come to find out, Pepsi owns Celsius, or Celsius is a Pepsi brand. So technically, Alani is like a Pepsi brand. So like her husband works sales for Pepsi, and he technically like sells Alani now to, you know, like whatever companies he goes to and tries to pitch, right? So kind of cool. It technically is a Pepsi brand, which also sucks though, because I am not a Pepsi girl. Like fuck Pepsi. So that's too bad, but I am still Alani girls. Like we're good. All right. Other than that, no other big launches. We did have Buff Bunny a few weeks ago, still some pieces left. We had Petula a few weeks ago, still some pieces left. I mean, you can go anywhere and always get something at any time. If you ever have any questions, Ask your girl. The last thing we have is next Sunday, the 16th. Power Hour is live. Okay, this is our brand new 3-week program. Every week is different. Every week is progressive. So week 1, we have foundation. Week 2, we have heat. Week 3, we have push. Peak. So with these 3 progressions, it's meant to be a 3-week program that takes you up to, maybe you're just trying to like dial in. Like you just want to lock in, you want to lose those couple pounds before vacation, or you have a photo shoot, or you have a wedding, or you're going to be in a wedding, or you're going on a little staycation. Okay. This is your 3-week program. Just kind of like get your shit together and also push you. If you want to be and look like an athlete, you got to train like one. That's what this program is. It's 6 days a week. Okay. 6 days a week. It is not meant to be for the newly postpartum mom or the pregnant mom. It is for the person that wants to get their shit together. Okay. So this is something you can look forward to if you're in one of those phases right now. I personally am doing it starting March 16th. And that takes me right up to my 30th birthday, bitch. So I was going to call this program 95 Hard / 3 weeks to 30. But I wanted something that was going to continue to live on, because this is a program anyone can kind of capture anytime. So Power Hour, 1 hour programming, give or take here, obviously make sure you're cooperating with like your rest periods and stuff, but you can mostly get in and out an hour. There's cardio, there's mobility, there's Stairmaster cardio, there's treadmill incline cardio, there's hike cardio, there's sprint intervals. I mean, any form of cardio possible. The point is just so much variation and fun that these 3 weeks are just going to push you out of your comfort zone and push you to fucking sweat your balls off. Okay. It's going to be a really fun program. We have upper body days, hits, circuit style days. We still have like full leg days, upper body, hybrid mixes, stuff like that. It's a really fun program. I also have sample meal plans aimed more for like a deficit. Also will include gluten-free and dairy-free meal plans as well. We have our own playlist. So, get down on some good music. It's just kind of fun to add in there. And I also made sure to add in for the cardio an actual PDF or like ebook of the cardio to do. So if for some reason you want to like print it out and be able to know, okay, what's my cardio for the day? You can do that too. We have an Instagram calendar, so you can kind of like hold yourself accountable if you want to, as well as a 21-day habit tracker with some different goals you can incorporate and pick a few that you want to really hone in on in 21 days. So it is a quick to the point program. It will be available for all members. We will also be running a special that week to get your first month for just $15, very similar to New Year Busy Me promo for just that week only. This will be a program that you can buy and continue to buy moving forward. It's just $38. After that first week of launch, though, the price will go up. So if you guys want to hop on that and you want it to keep, you can keep it in your plans tab by purchasing it that first week. So very excited. I could talk more and more about it. Maybe we'll talk about it more next week because it'll be officially my 3 weeks until my birthday. And I want to talk a little bit about how I'm going to be using the program and where my body has gone even from the challenge. I'm going to be kind of reflecting on the 6 weeks and more. So stay tuned for that, but put it on your calendars. You're not going to want to fucking miss this. I have not felt this excited about a program in a while. I think because I really got to flex that like athletic muscle in my brain and create a program that I know is going to fucking suck. Like fucking suck. Okay. But I'm so ready for it. Okay. Let's take a quick sip real quick. Fuck me. Number one, I'm not going to talk about this one long, but if you are or have been watching The Bachelor, what a disappointment. Okay. This season has been like terrible. They need to just cap this shit. Like, honestly, it's such a fucking boring franchise now. Like they need to just stick to like Bachelor in Paradise and maybe like Golden Bachelor or something for now, just like a new twist. But I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Like, honestly, I had really high hopes for Grant too, like as a Bachelor. And I cannot. Like the final 3, not even who I would have expected. Like Juliana getting as far as she has. Like, don't get me wrong, she's so cute, but like they had no connection on the first night. I really thought Alexi or Alex, I forgot how they pronounced it, but I thought she would go further. Latia, she's stunning, gorgeous. Like, wouldn't be shocked if she like won. But he also is like oddly into Zoe. I'm like, you guys have said one word to each other. Like, it was the weirdest twist of events, which I guess at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to chemistry, and I get that, but like a lot of which we also might not see on camera. I get it, but I'm just over it. I'm over it. So if you are watching The Bachelor, we had hometowns. We have the final 3. I don't even remember like where it goes from here. Like, do we have 2 more episodes left or 1? Like, I'm so checked out, but I had to just reference it. So if you guys are watching The Bachelor right now, I just have to get your honest opinion. Like, and I've been watching pretty consistently since like college. Me and my girlfriends, like my roommates, that would be like our thing. We would play bananagrams and watch The Bachelor. And it just has not hit the same. And I don't think it's also hit the same since influencers became a thing, because back when I watched it in college, like social media fame wasn't like really a thing yet. And so people were genuinely just on there like looking for love. And I feel like now everyone's just like looking for management, and it's honestly exhausting. Like it's bad. I'm so tired of it. So just wanted to reference that. Paradise. If you guys have not watched Paradise on Hulu, you must run. It is such a fucking phenomenal show. So I'm going to spoil the finale here real quick. I just want to touch on a few things. So fast forward. I'm giving you a second here. Okay. So the finale was crazy. I did not expect it to be that librarian guy. And it kind of pissed me off because like this librarian guy was in love with, I forget what his name was that he met down there. Right. So he gets kicked off the work site. They're like, hey, just don't come back. Right. And so now he knows these people who are working in the site are like going to die. Right. So he is in love with this guy, tries to call him, feels bad. His like gay lover dies or whatever. So now he has this terrible like revenge on wanting to kill the president, which I understand. But like at the end of the day, like no offense, everyone was going to die anyway. So, and again, that sounds terrible, but I just couldn't understand this guy's, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, guess what? This guy was fucking mentally ill, right? But regardless. So he sneaks into Paradise, lives this normal life until he saw the president one night, in one night only. And by the way, the president was like so nice to him. And at the end of the day, the president gave him Paradise, gave everyone that's down there a chance at life. And he got a chance at life. So like, how can you not see past that? I don't know. Whatever. So anyways, he saw the president. And after that, he was like, basically, he just like reawoke the Kraken. It was like, I'm going to fucking kill him. So like he did. It was just the dumbest way to why he did that. So anyways, then we find out that what's his nuts. I'm blanking on names right now. I'm keeping track of so many characters. That his wife, Terry, is alive. Sinatra plays this fucking tape. She's alive. He literally hears her voice. And then Sinatra gets shot by that fucking bitch who almost killed the daughter or whatever. All over the Wii. Like I thought that was a joke. I told Wyatt, I was like, Wii has to be a code name for something. Like, no. She's literally playing fucking tennis on the Wii. Like, I was shook. I'm like, is that really all she wanted, or is she still a threat? Like, I'm keeping my eye on you, bitch. So anyway, she shot Sinatra. Sinatra has to like recover now, which I'm also like, what's the next role for her? And then what's his nuts? Again, why am I forgetting his name? I want to say Roger. It's not Roger. He obviously previous pilot too. So he gets in the old ass planes that have been sitting there now for I think 3 years. He fires them up off into the Bolivian on his way to Georgia. I think he says on the ending scene, I'm coming for you, baby, or something. And I was just in awe. Like when we were halfway through the episode and I saw, halfway through, I'm like, what more are we going to do this episode? Like I was kind of like feeling let down, and they really just ended it with a punch. And I'm so excited. I'm very pumped to know that there's going to be a season 2. It was the perfect balance of like drama too. And he was like, him and the therapist like had sex, right? And I think they were kind of like low key feeling each other. And so now he's off to find his wife, and I'm like, okay, is he going to bring her back? And now are things going to be even the same? Like, what if they're all just so moved on? Like, what if, I don't know. I'm shook. I don't know what to think of it. There can only be more drama laid on me. Like, it was a phenomenal show. And again, if you just listen to that spoiler, it's a phenomenal show. And I cannot wait to see season 2. I'm hoping that it doesn't take too long to turn around. Especially because Number one, it's a Hulu original. Number two, we don't have any like SAG strikes right now. So all the writers better be fucking writing. And that includes the writers for Euphoria. We got a new season coming out. The Last of Us, we have the next season coming out. Handmaid's Tale, we have the next season coming out. White Lotus, we're still lotusing every Sunday. So all the good things to come. Okay, so speaking of White Lotus, I'm honestly not going to recap much because I'd rather talk about this Ruby Franke and Love is Blind. Okay, so let's talk. Here, back me up. My point being, go watch White Lotus. We'll talk about it next week. Goodbye. Next up, Love is Blind. Sarah and Ben. I fucking knew it was coming. I knew she was going to say no. In my opinion, I can respect that she took everything into consideration about making sure they were like aligned and whatnot. Babe, you only knew each other for 3 weeks. Okay, like no matter what, who the fuck knew? Who the fuck was to know if you guys worked through some things or if you guys learned from each other, etc. So some of the things she was saying, I just felt like she was in her own way. Honestly, like there is no such thing as perfect. And some of the things she was very worried about, don't get me wrong, very valid. Like I want to make sure we're on the right wavelength for that. Like don't get me wrong. But like her sister is gay. The church he goes to is maybe a more traditional church. He said he was open into changing churches. And in my interaction with all of them together, he wasn't like from my sight of the view that we got, he didn't seem like homophobic. So like if he was like accepting of her sister and they were kind of all vibing, like it made it seem to me like he was like deeply rooted homophobic maybe. Now, I know there's a lot of shit going on about him on TikTok right now. I have not kept up with it. Tonight, the reunion drops. I will be curious to see what more we see. So I will speak on it more at that point. I just felt like at the end of the day, she was really happy with him. And I just felt like at that time, it looked like she got in her own way. We will see. There's going to be a lot that comes out at the reunion, okay? Next up, we had Monica and Joey. I knew for a fact they weren't going to work out. I knew it. Okay, I knew it. So she said no first. And then he also kind of like went off her and like said no. Like he's like, I don't think we're ready for it. And they kind of like left that there. And then Joey goes on at the end of the show to say how he's going to have to recover from this or whatever. I'm like, recover from what? Like you were going to say no to. Like at that point, clean slate. I don't know. Like you both cancel each other out. Like, and I don't know. I was just confused with how he worded that because it almost made him feel like he was the victim, which at the end of the day, if he would have gone first and said no first, it's the same thing. So that was a little bit confusing, but also it made me think, I'm like, dude, these people have to be traumatized after this show. Honestly, like I feel like they deserve financial compensation because you are putting on like a white dress. You're legitimately going through a wedding ceremony. And then whoever you date in the future, you have to like tell this to now. Literally suing. Like honestly, you deserve money for real. So they didn't work out. Then we had Devin and Virginia. Are we shocked there either? No. However, I will be honest. I was shocked she said no and not him. I kind of thought it was going to be a last minute Uno reverse because when he signed that prenup, I was like, yeah, it's easy to sign a prenup when you know you're going to say no at the altar. Like I was kind of like messing around with Wyatt. I was like, yeah, he signed it because he's not going to go through with it. They're not going to get married. Come to find out, she's the one that said no to him, which now I look back, I did always see a little bit of like cold feet with her, but also like to bring up a prenup and really go through this whole process together. It's giving serious, you know? And so to kind of pull the rug from under him, I did feel it was a little unfair because she was very passionate about painting their future together. Like, I'm going to be pregnant and you're going to be coaching and I'm going to have a baby on my hip and another in my belly. And like, I mean, the graphic imagery of like them together really sewn into his mind. And so that made me sad. But at the end of the day, like in those situations, you always have to do what's best for you. I think she did. The last one we had, I believe I'm covering them all, was obviously Daniel and Taylor. The show this season was purely just made for them. It was a beautiful ceremony. They both said, I do. They're giggly. They're happy. They're in love. Their families are both intertwined. Like everything just seems really good. I'm really hoping we see this same energy at the reunion. Like I hope we don't see any backlash or like we don't see them not together or like something has come out. Like, I don't know. I'm not really on Love is Blind TikTok or anything. I hear it's like juicy over there on Reddit. I don't get on Reddit, so like I couldn't tell you, but I hear like on TikTok it said you either watch Love is Blind or you like watch the other version, which is what you read on Reddit. And it's got to be awkward to know that like they all have to still live in the same city. I'll be curious to see who ends up like dating, back together, maybe not, like, cause you could run into each other. Like, I mean, Minneapolis is like big or whatever, but still like you kind of like know where each other lives now. So, you know, we'll see. Regardless, biggest thing that's coming, like I said, is tonight. It's the Love is Blind reunion. I'm excited. I'm probably going to be recapping it on my Not Just Another Mom account, which is my personal account. So stay tuned there. Last but not least, I'm going to take a few minutes to cover, finish this up. So the Ruby Franke documentary was on Hulu. I think it was called like The Devil. What did it say? The Devil in the Video or I can't remember. The Fall of Ruby Franke. So Wyatt and I watched it together, and I didn't think he was going to watch it, but the minute he kind of saw like it was like a family vlogger and I was kind of telling him the background, his ears kind of perked up. It was like interesting to him. So the biggest takeaways I had from the documentary, number one, was how much fucking money they were making. Guys, the dad, like who was interviewing at one point, said each month they were making over $100,000 off of YouTube. Insanity. So the next time you click on someone's fucking YouTube channel, and you better understand the fucking life they're living. Like, God damn, that was shocking. But also, you know, they're doing these family vlogs, and listen, it takes a lot of work to like vlog and edit. And it doesn't even seem at that point that they maybe had a team, like are they editing their own videos? I didn't ever see any like management or anyone else. So to be doing all of that is impressive. And at the end of the day, I think when we trace back to the OG Ruby Franke, she had it in her. You know, she was a talker. She had a fiery kind of personality. Like you can see why people wanted to watch her. Like she was good at what she was doing. Now, when we first saw the beginning clips of her, you know, recording and at some point being like, why are you yelling? I'm trying to record. You know, when I saw that, I was like, okay, like, I mean, it makes sense though. Like I've done that before, you know, where I'm like, what's going on? All right. You know, like it naturally, like if you're in the middle of a video and you hear ruckus going on, you're like just making sure everyone's alive. So I wasn't really taken aback by that. So I didn't really know where it was going to go. Then we start to see her son and her daughter, Chad and Sherry, start to speak. One thing I really thought was interesting was Chad used the verb, or I should say adjective, I guess, I don't know, mom a few times and like dad a few times. But a lot of the times Sherry and Chad both only used their parents' names. So like they would refer to them as Ruby, and then they would refer to the dad as, what was his name? Okay, sorry, Kevin. So, that was interesting because it shows how closed off that relationship will be for forever. You know, mind you, Ruby and Jody, both collectively, I believe, are serving 30 years. Will they get out early? I sure hope not. I really do. And honestly, at that point, with how much they're kind of hated, and I wouldn't want out. But you know what I could tell you is I bet you Ruby and Jody both, I bet you they are running shit in that prison, wherever they're at. Like, I guarantee you they went in there and still took the alpha positions because that's the type of women that they are, which is crazy to me. But I bet you they still run shit. They are not getting trampled on. They are leading people. They're just as much manipulating in the prison. They're creating like a hierarchy system where they're the best. Like, you know it. So the big thing of the whole where everything takes a turn really comes down to the first experience that she shared on her channel about taking away her son's bedroom for 7 months and sleeping on a beanbag. Now that is fucked up. I would never, and I do believe that's fucked up, but could you go to jail for that? Probably not. You know what I mean? So again, devil's advocate, can they press charges from that? Probably not. Can you contact CPS for that? I don't know. Like at that point, to me, that is their decision in parenting, which is fucked up. Now, here's where it gets bad though, is when she kicks out the husband, Kevin, and he has no contact with the family for a year. which sounds berserk, right? But at the end of the day, I bet you police and law enforcement and judges, they had to go up and down through receipts and receipts of phone records, texts, etc., to really make sure, was this man where he said he was? Because how could he have no idea what was going on? I genuinely believe that Kevin was so in the fucking dark. I mean, even his interview upon arriving to the police department, he was shocked. Like, it was a very genuine reaction, in my opinion. And he was just trying to do what he was supposed to do. And at the end of the day, they were so religious, which again, this is what creeps me out about religion. Like, it's so mind blowing, the culty reaction of religion in aspects like this, especially when you have to like earn your way into heaven and yada yada. So that was like fucked up. But regardless, tying up your children, saying that they're possessed, that you're going to beat the devil out of them and that they will die, like the devil deserves to die, which are these small children, is asinine to me. Then we have Jody the whole time, who really enabled this whole thing, honestly. Like Ruby had it in her to be like psychotic. Jody pulled it out. And Jody is a man hater, which I asked Wyatt, I was like, what's the opposite of an incel? So like an incel is typically like a man who just hates women so much, mostly because he can never get a woman. So he's like, fuck all women, right? On the opposite end, I'm like, what is an incel but like a woman? When you hate men so deeply, because I don't know about you, but like, I don't hate men. There is a group. I don't want to say a group. There are men out there who are piece of shit men who, rape women, sexually assault women, verbally, physically, that group of people can go to fucking hell, right? But I don't look at every man and think that that's their initial want or desire, right? So to be so deeply rooted in hatred for men from her, I think comes from her being religious and never really being able to live her truth of being gay. She's always liked women, but she's Mormon or whatever. And so, she would go to hell if she ever said that out loud. So here's her and Jody doing whatever. And here's the thing. I don't even know if I would consider Ruby like a lesbian. Like, I don't know if Ruby loved Jody in a way of like passionate, intimate, like sexual partners. I think that Jody manipulated Ruby into doing things to her and probably almost borderline sexually assaulted Ruby by explaining how Ruby had to do this to Jody to like get the demons out of her and be like not possessed anymore. And, oh, like you have to touch me like this. And like, I think that Ruby was genuinely like fucking brainwashed. Not that Ruby is a victim in this way. Like, it still takes two to tango, but I do believe that Jody potentially victimized Ruby as well by making it a physical relationship when maybe Jody wanted more of like a love partners and Ruby was just like so infatuated with her as like a friend and like she believed everything she said. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think of that take, because I don't know if I would deem Ruby a lover of Jody. I think Jody loved Ruby. Ruby cared for Jody, but did whatever she could for Jody. And I think Jody manipulated her in potentially a sexual way. So it was the video footage of her like faking a possessive thing. Like, I'm sorry, babe, that's not possession. That's schizophrenia. And you're fucking mentally ill and you need to go get help. Like, but no, instead they're with all these kids, the neighbors seeing the kids in the window, the fact that they couldn't do anything, the fact that Child Protective Services or whoever they called said that they couldn't do anything because there was like no proof. I hope that every fucking person that those neighbors reached out to, I hope they're in so much fucking trouble. I hope they can never practice in CPS again. It is crazy the amount of times. And if you have never watched the Gabriel Hernandez case, I think it's the Gabriel Hernandez or Fernandez. It's on Netflix. Watch that fucking case. And the amount of Child Protective Services, social workers who bust their ass and do good in the world, thank you. But the amount of the other CPS workers who sit on their ass and are like, it's probably boy who called wolf. You failed these kids. You have failed multiple kids and it should fall on you. Like, you should be put you should be in fucking trouble for that. So I hope all of those people, all of those adults in those high up positions at CPS or whoever they were calling, I hope they are in so much fucking trouble for failing these two kids just as much because the neighbors went out of their way to try to avoid it getting to the place that it did. So we didn't see too much extra information or look into what the kids looked like upon being seen. Like we saw some camera footage from cops, but that was like about it. And like, that's okay. We didn't need to see more, but still from even what we saw, it was like, I don't even think we understand how bad and severe it was. But the sheriff on there, I can't remember her name, but she was a baddie. Okay. She was a baddie on that documentary. Anyways, what I took from the whole thing, fuck Ruby Franke. I wouldn't necessarily say fuck her husband because I genuinely, and I don't know if this is what he wants us to feel, but I felt a little empathy for him. Like I was like, you really were sucked so far into this own brainwashing of the same woman who brainwashed so many other people. And this is all public on YouTube and these kids are growing up online and being filmed when they genuinely don't want to be. Like that's one thing I will never do to my kids. Like if Maddox or Archie or Evie in the future say, I don't want to be filmed right now. It's like, okay, I'll find something else. Or like, that's fine. I'm just going to do this myself then. Like, or okay, I'll do it later. Like if they don't want to be involved, they don't need to be involved. Okay. And so to see her like footage and be like, scoot in. And then she was like, do you not want to be on this video with me? Do you want mommy to have to do this by herself? Can you just put on a smile? I'm trying to do this ad for us. Like whatever. It was crazy the way she was talking to them. Like honestly, like that was terrible. And watch out for your favorite family influencers. Okay. Me included. No, I'm just kidding. But watch out for your favorite mommy vloggers. Okay. Cause when their kids start to get older, start to pay attention to how they're acting. It's easy when they're kids and they don't mind being in videos. Right. But you watch and make sure you're watching closely, because if you're someone who is supporting people like that, who's exploiting their children to such a far extent, it's one thing to give parenting advice and, hey mama, you got this, hang in there. Hey, tonight was a rough night with the kids, but like, we got this, hang in there. It's one thing to share that, right? But to share personal, intricate items is crazy. At least without their consent, especially like when their son Chad was going through a lot of delinquency issues. Like everyone knows who he is. Like he went to school and people would know who he is. I don't know. You guys, please let me know what you think. Okay. Ruby Franke documentary. You got to watch it all. I could talk about this for days. Like mommy vloggers, like extreme parenting family vloggers. I'm not a fan of. I don't watch any. And the few influencers that I like used to watch more commonly, it's hard for me to watch them anymore too. Cause I'm like, when your kids become the sole purpose of your content, I don't like that. When they're a part of your content, it's different, but like when they are the purpose, like, I don't like that. Like, I don't know. Does that sound hypocritical of me? Like, honestly, hey, devil's advocate. I'm like, it's one thing to show your life and your kids naturally in your life. It's one thing to show just your kids and then revolve your life around them in content. I don't know. Call me out. I'm just spitting. Here. Let me know. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Happy Sunday. Go get signed up for my membership. Get ready for Power Hour. Go get some merch. Go watch Paradise. Go watch the Ruby Franke documentary. Go watch the Manson fucking documentary. Watch some good TV this week. Report back. Let's watch White Lotus Sunday. Severance is over, by the way. I didn't get to watch the finale, so TBT on my review there too. Hope you have a beautiful day, beautiful week, beautiful life. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't regret yesterday. Be present. Be that bitch. Love you.